Hello everybody. First of all, I feel everybody is safe as this is a very troublesome period that we all are going through. This lecture is basically regarding the network analysis. I have shared two pager earlier. So this is more of a brief rather a in-depth overview regarding the same. Let's start with what is network analysis. Basically, network analysis is distributed into two parts. One is critical path method and another is PERT, project evaluation and review technique. Today we will be discussing only the first part, that is the CPM, and we will be taking care of the PERT later on. CPM was discovered by M.R. Walker somewhere around 1957, and this technique has been used extensively in project management, operations, financials management, dealing with the projects so that uh, we can elaborate all the activities, draw proper correlations, and we can check how to control cost and factors like this. So the key concept behind CPM is that a small set of activities which makes up the longest path. I repeat, which makes up the longest path through the activity network control the entire project. The ideology behind that is if these critical activities can be identified and assigned to a responsible person, management believes that these resources can be optimally utilized over the entire project. So the key pointer is why we are going for the CPM is first, it is a planning method that focuses on identifying the tasks that are dependent on other tasks for their timely completion. Why they are dependent? Because see, one activity leads to A, second activity leads to B. Take a very simple example. For example, you are cooking something in the home, and if we are cooking, so you have to put on the burner, then you have to use the which utensil you have to use, then you have to first prepare the gravy, then after preparing the gravy you have to put in the vegetables, then for how long you have to cook. All these are the sequencing of the activities. One follows the others until the entire cooking is done or the dish is prepared. So this is why it is saying that identifying the tasks that are dependent on other tasks for their timely completion. Second key pointer is understanding the dependencies between the task is a key because that only helps us to set the realistic deadline. Now coming on to the critical path, what is critical path? As shared earlier also, now critical path refers to a sequence or order of schedule activities that will make up the entire duration of the project. Keep in mind it represents the longest path through the entirety of the project, and typically this path consists of every single activity that must be concluded from the kickoff to the ultimate conclusion of the project. Being the longest path, it is also the shortest possible duration of the project. Now coming on to the creation of the network diagram basics. First is we have to understand what activity is, because in the past slides we will be talking about the activities following. So for what are the activity? Activity is nothing but an individual operation, right? For example, again getting back to that cooking example, if uh, you have to switch on the burner, so that switching of a burner is an activity, right? So activities can be categorized into three categories: predecessor activity, successor activity, and dummy activity. Predecessor and successor activity is like, for example, you want to cook a dish. So for cooking a dish, uh, cutting a vegetable is a predecessor activity before putting those vegetable into the utensil for being cooked. After putting those vegetables into the utensils, adding spices or anything the ingredients to the cooking is like a successor activity, right? In dummy activity we will come later on. Let us first analyze how the activities or the modulation or the framing works. First is, see, these are the two circles that I have used over here. One this, another is this. And this is the arrow. The arrow represents the activity, and the head of the arrow defines the direction of the activity. So this activity is and these two circles, these represents the node or event as commonly referred. This point is the starting point of the activity, or often called as the tail of the activity. Where the arrow head is there, we call it as a head of the activity, or where the activity completes. This is A is the name of the activity, 9 is the duration of the activity. So this circle is the starting point, and this circle is the ending point. And this is how we consider activities, and this is how we follow from one step to another, from another activity to another, until we cover all the activities and finally reaches the end point of the project. Now coming on to the dummy activity. See, there is a very basic rule that we need to follow in the dummy activity, and that is each activity is represented by one and only one arrow in the network. This representation, that is A and B going from the same event, both coming from this, originating from the same event and ending on the say other event, is not allowed. In order to overcome this, we tend to introduce a dummy activity. For example, consider a situation where A and B are concurrent activities or parallel activities. C is dependent on A and D is dependent on A and B both. Such a situation can be handled by using a dummy activity as shown in the figure. You cannot take this C directly from 2 to 4, or you cannot assume, because 4 and 3 are two different set of events. So in order to overcome this, what we are doing is we are introducing a dummy activity. This is the only purpose of the dummy activity. It does not consume any resources, nothing, but this is a more of a better representation and avoids the confusion into the network diagram. Now coming on to the events. Basically, event, as I already stated earlier, it may be a node or a character, right? Basically two types of event: merge event, where two activities are coming onto a single event. Burst event is from where from one event two activities are originating. Now let us come to how to draw a part diagram. See, there is a very simple example which has been taken over there. Is these are the if you see the question, the job is, there are 5 jobs: A, B, C, D and E, and the activity nodes are given. A activity is conducted from 1 to 2, B is conducted from 2 to 4, C reflects activity between 2 to 3, D reflects 3 to 4, and E reflects 4 to 5, and these are the durations. Generally what we do is we generally tend to prepare a rough diagram of a rough sketch, so that we actually know how to represent it in a fair work, because sometimes it is a very simple example, but when there is a complex situation, it is very difficult to view and move on to the relations or the part diagram very easily. So we tend to have a very rough sketch, very brief sketch. So here we just draw a brief sketch that is from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. Now this is the fair sketch. From one activity, A begins, 14 days of duration, we are ending at 2. From 2 to 4, B, 10 days, this is the duration. From 2 to 3, C and 7, 3 to 4, D and 4, E and 4 to 5. Okay. This is the entire diagram that is completed, starting from the first till the 5th. Now, if we try to understand, one more thing that we can explain over here is what is a successor activity and a predecessor activity. If let's say this is the activity I am standing at, this is the event I am standing at, that is 2. So A would become the predecessor, B and C would become the successor. So I hope the basics would be clear. These basics need to be learned even before we can move on doing the calculations of the critical path or finding the other insights into the part diagram, which we will be taking care into the next lecture. These boxes that I have not discussed is left for a purpose, and this would be covered in the coming lectures. Thank you.